Greetings of the day to everyone. This module is about more topics for natural resources. In our previous video, we had discussed about few natural resources like wind, water, etc. Here we are going to start with minerals and soil. So let's start our topic. As we all know that soil is also an important resource and it decides the diversity of life in an area, right? What type of diversity will occur in an area, it will be decided by the type of soil also, along with climate. So the outermost layer of earth is called the crust, and the minerals are found in this layer only, right? And what these minerals do, they supply a variety of nutrients. To whom they supply? Obviously, to the different life forms, to the plants as well as to the animals. Over a long period of time, thousands and millions of years, the rocks at or near the surface of Earth are broken down by so many physical, chemical, and biological processes, right? We are aware about these wind and sun, etc. So many factors are responsible for that. And what is the end product of this breaking down? Yes, obviously, these are the fine particles of soil. And what this process is being called? Yes, it is called weathering. Okay, weathering of rock causes the soil particles to be made. So, what is soil actually? It's a mixture. It's a portion of Earth's surface which carries the various components. You can say it carries the small particles also of rock of different sizes, right? So many living organisms are also found in this soil. And the uppermost layer, which is dark in color and which carries most of the nutrients with it, that is called humus, which we can found in the A horizon only, right? So many horizons are there, so many layers are there in the soil. A horizon, B horizon, C horizon. So humus is being found in the uppermost layer only, and the dark color of the soil is just because of this humus, right? So various forms of microscopic life, air, water, all these it. Do you know what are the factors which are responsible to make this soil? Yes, the first factor is the sun. How it is responsible to make this soil? Wait, I'll tell you. See what happened at the time of day, the sun heats up these rocks, right? During the daytime. And we know that heating causes expansion. जब हम इनको किसी चीज़ को गर्म करते हैं तो क्या होता है? And at night these rocks cool down and contract. बट रॉक्स के जो सारे पार्ट्स होते हैं वो तो एक्सपेंड और कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नहीं होते ना सेम रेट से. सो व्हाट विल हैपन बाय दिस? इफ ऑल द पार्ट्स ऑफ द रॉक विल नॉट एक्सपेंड एंड कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एट द सेम रेट, this may result in the formation of cracks. Okay, and ultimately the huge rocks will break into small particles. Now let's talk about water. Now, the next factor which is responsible for the weathering of rocks is water. And how this water helps in formation of soil? It helps in two different ways, right? कैसे करते हैं? पहला तो see water see could get into these cracks, right? हमने बताया कि सन की वजह से अब क्योंकि सब पार्ट्स में सेम एक्सपेंशन एंड कंट्रैक्शन नहीं होता तो उनमें क्रैक्स आ जाते हैं एंड उन क्रैक्स की वजह से it breaks up into small pieces. But sometimes what happen? Water enter into these in these cracks into the rocks formed due to uneven heating by the sun. Or agar at night time, if there will be too cold weather, then this water will freezes. And what will happen due to this freezing? Yes, the cracks will widen, right? ये क्रैक्स और ज़्यादा बढ़ जाएंगे, है ना। अब जब प्रेसिपिटेशन होगा देन जो फ्लोइंग वाटर होगा उसकी वजह से भी हार्ड रॉक्स जो होती है वो ब्रेक डाउन होती है, राइट। Not so instantly, it takes a long time, but then too, over long period of time it happens, right? Fast flowing water often carries big and small particles of rock downstream, और ये जो rock particles है वो एक दूसरे से rub होते होते rock से, और finally the resultant abrasion causes the rocks to wear down into smaller and smaller particles, all right। अब ये जो वाटर है वो क्या करेगा, वो इन पार्टिकल्स को अपने साथ ले लेगा और इनको डिपॉजिट कर देगा आगे पाथ में, ओके। सो इस तरीके से सॉइल फाउंड इन प्लेसेस फार अवे फ्रॉम इट्स पेरेंट रॉक, ओके, दे move along with these water streams, okay। Now the third factor which is responsible for weathering is wind। अब हवा कैसे weathering के लिए responsible हो सकती है, see, जैसा हमने water के केस में बताया that water rubs against rocks and wear them down, similarly with the winds also, winds can also erode rocks down, okay। wind क्या करेगी, अब तेज़ हवा से वो रॉक के पार्टिकल्स टूट जाएंगे एंड उसके बाद दैट विंड कैन कैरी सैंड फ्रॉम वन प्लेस टू अनदर एज द वाटर वाज डूइंग, ओके। नाउ नेक्स्ट फैक्टर, लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म मीन्स mosses etc, right, which can grow on the moist surface, lichens, right। तो वहाँ से वेजिटेशन स्टार्ट होती है। So sometimes what happen, living organism also influence the formation of soil। Lichens के बारे में हम पढ़ चुके हैं पहले। What are lichens? These are the symbiotic forms of algae plus fungi, right? And where they grows on the moist surface of rocks etc. And जब वो grow करते हैं तो वो क्या करते हैं, इसको they release certain substance that cause the rock surface to powder down and soil की एक पतली सी layer form हो जाती है। On this thin layer only the mosses are able to grow and इसी की वजह से आगे rocks का further breakdown होता है, right। और जो बड़े बड़े पेड़ होते हैं कि उनकी जो रूट्स होती हैं वो कई बार इन क्रैक्स में, रॉक्स के क्रैक्स में चली जाती हैं। ये जो क्रैक्स हैं these will become bigger due to this force of roots, okay। when the roots will grow bigger the crack is forced bigger, all right। now what type of soil will be found in a region, that is decided by the average size of particles, you know, different varieties of soils are there, right, sand, gravel, silt, clay etc. so it depends on their average size, all right। gravel, sand, silt और clay, 4 types are there mainly, okay। जो क्वालिटी होती है वो कौन डिटरमाइन करेगा, yes, the humus। what is humus? yes, it is made from the dead and decaying matter, right, by the microorganism। तो ह्यूमस और माइक्रोऑर्गेनिजम्स कितना है एक सॉइल में वही उसकी क्वालिटी को डिटरमाइन करते हैं, राइट। जो मिनरल न्यूट्रिएंट्स होते हैं that are found in particular soil depend on the rock it was formed from। किस सॉइल में कितने न्यूट्रिएंट्स हैं ये किस चीज़ पे डिपेंड करेगा कि वो किन रॉक से बनी हुई है, राइट। सो द मिनरल कंटेंट्स ऑलवेज डिपेंड ऑन द टाइप ऑफ रॉक्स and humus is the major factor which decides the soil structure because इसी की वजह से soil porous बनती है। We know now that soil is having small pores, it contains air and water in it, right। So these pores and this humus allows water and air to penetrate deep into the ground. So that is decided by the humus which is present in them, and third the depth of the soil. Okay, so these three are responsible for the type of plant that will grow on a particular soil. Alright, now topsoil. As I have told you, soil is having so many layers in it. So topsoil, which is also called the A horizon, which contains the humus, which is of very dark colored topmost layer of the soil. राइट, लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स इसी लेयर में रहते हैं, है ना, सॉइल पार्टिकल्स के अंदर. तो जो क्वालिटी होती है टॉप सॉइल की, दैट इज़ ऑल्सो एन इम्पॉर्टेंट फैक्टर विच डिसाइड्स द बायोडाइवर्सिटी ऑफ दैट एरिया. Now let's discuss about soil pollution. As we know that soil is also getting polluted day by day, right? Are you able to see in this picture how this area is polluted, how the soil is polluted? All the garbage is being dumped into this area, and just because of that soil is getting polluted. Now what is soil pollution exactly? Yes, the same definition we will provide as we have provided in the water pollution, that removal of desirable substances or addition of undesirable substances that may harm the living organisms which are living in it, right? The microorganism, etc., or the other living organism which depend on that soil. If they are harming, that means the soil is getting polluted. Okay, this adversely affect the fertility of the soil, as well as it kills the microorganism which lives in it. Okay, सुपर फर्टिलाइजर्स, पेस्टिसाइड्स, ये सब क्या करते हैं, ये सॉइल के स्ट्रक्चर को डिस्ट्रॉय कर देते हैं. ओके, एंड मॉसेस एंड ब्रायोफाइट्स, दीज आर द indicators of soil pollution. The next topic we are going to discuss is about soil erosion. What is soil erosion? Yes, the removal of the uppermost layer of the soil. How it get removed? Yeah, it can be removed by the wind, the strong winds. It could be removed by the the heavy flow of water, due to flood, due to heavy rain, etc. Right? How it can be prevented? So many factors are there. The main is the afforestation, right? Because we know the roots keep on binding this soil. They are having the ability to bind the soil with them, and they can stop this soil erosion, so we can use it over there. Right? Now let's discuss the biogeochemical cycles. As we have already discussed, what is this biogeochemical cycle? It is the flow of matter from non-living environment to the living organism, and again back to the non-living environment. The first biogeochemical cycle that we are going to discuss is the water cycle. As this cycle we have studied in our previous classes also. So what happened in this cycle? From where it starts? Yes, exactly. It starts with the evaporation. So this water cycle carries so many terms with it, like evaporation, precipitation, transpiration, condensation, infiltration, etc. Right? What happened exactly in it? The water gets evaporate, and then it becomes droplets. These water vapor get condensed, convert into water droplets. Again it precipitates, again absorbed by the soil, or go into the water bodies. Again it will get evaporated. So this cycle will continue. So this is called the water cycle. So let's discuss all these terms in detail. The first that we are going to discuss, the first step which is involved in this water cycle is evaporation, right? So as you are able to see over here, evaporation process is going on. Are you able to see here? Right? तो क्या होता है, what at the time of day the water gets heated up, right, with the suns, and the water in the seas, oceans, etc., it turns into water vapor. अब ये water vapors, because we know that the hot air always rises in the upward direction, so they will rise in the upward direction. जो सन की हीट है वो प्रोवाइड करती है एनर्जी वाटर को इवापोरेट होने के लिए अर्थ की सरफेस से, राइट? बिकॉज वी नो दैट फॉर इवापोरेशन they need energy, so from where they are getting this energy? From sun's heat. So the water which is in the ocean, lakes, etc., it starts evaporating and form the water vapor. Now because these vapors are very light, so they will rise in upward direction and goes into the atmosphere. Not only this run surface water of these water bodies contribute in this water cycle, you can say the water from transpiration also plays an important role in it. It is also involved in this process of water cycle. What is transpiration? The plant doesn't know how much amount is being required. The roots will keep on absorbing the water until and unless the water concentration will become equal, right? So osmosis it is being called. So due to osmosis process, roots will absorb water. So the water content which is required to prepare food, that will be used by the plant. And what about the excess of water? Yes, it will be moved out from the surface of leaves in the form of transpiration. Okay, so the plant continuously absorbs water from the soil through their roots, and some of this water is utilized by the plant for photosynthesis. और जो ज़्यादा पानी होगा वो क्या करेगा plant? Yes, that will be added to atmosphere. Okay, and this is called transpiration. अब जो वाटर वेपर प्रोड्यूस हुई हैं वो कहाँ जाएंगी? एटमॉस्फेयर में. सो ट्रांसपिरेशन इज़ द प्रोसेस बाय विच plants lose their extra water through their leaf surface. Alright. Third step that we are going to discuss in this water cycle is about respiration. As I have told you that day also, that in our previous video, that when respiration occur, right, during the process of respiration in living plants and during the decay of dead plants, water vapors is produced. You still remember the process of respiration? What was that? Yes, the breakdown of glucose. And what were the products which were being made? Yes, the products were carbon dioxide and water along with energy. Okay, so during the process of respiration in living plants and during the decay of dead plants, जब dead plants का dead and decaying होता है plants का, तो water vapor produce होती है जो कि atmosphere में जाएंगी. Okay, so from where these water vapors are going into the atmosphere? Firstly with evaporation, secondly with transpiration, and third method is from respiration, right? Now let's discuss our next term, that is condensation. You must have observed that tiny droplets on the plate when your mother is preparing food. If she covers that vegetable from a plate, we are able to see the small droplets on it. From where these droplets came? Yes, these were the water vapors which were coming out from that vegetable. So when these water droplets came into contact of that plate, it get condensed, it get cooled down and condensed and again turned into liquid, right? So this is called condensation. Now, what is the role of this condensation in this water cycle? Yes, as the water vapor rises up, it gets cooled, ठंडी हो जाती है और उसके बाद it eventually condenses back into tiny droplets of liquid water. And if there will be too cold in the atmosphere, then what will happen? These tiny droplets may get converted into snow, hail, etc. राइट तो जो बर्फ़ गिरती है उसकी वजह क्या होती है? एक्सट्रीम कोल्ड टेम्परेचर. Alright. Now, normally these are converted into liquid water, which is called condensation. अब इन liquid droplets के साथ क्या होगा? ये जो liquid droplets हैं, they are small enough to float in air and eventually collect together to make cloud. ये सारी मिल करके और बादल बना लेते हैं. And how they collect? You can say small particles act as nucleus for these water droplets. So these mostly the dust particle act as a nucleus for them. They play this role for them, and all the water droplets get collected around that particle and start forming clouds. Now these clouds can be blown away by the wind to move water to different parts of the earth, right? Now when the clouds are ready with the water droplets, now what will happen when these droplets will become heavier? These tiny droplets will become heavier day by day, and when they will become too heavier, then it will start precipitating, right? So what is precipitation? It's raining. So as more and more water droplets form, they will join together, become bigger and bigger in size, and ये जो water droplets हैं जब वो बहुत ज़्यादा heavy हो जाएंगी to stay in the air, will fall to earth as rain. And as I have already told you that in case of extreme cold weather, it may freeze and fall as hail or snow. Okay? So कोई भी water जो कि sky से fall हो रहा है, चाहे वो sleet हो, hail हो या snow ho, it is called precipitation, right? It may be in the form of rain, it may be in the form of snow, sleet, hail, etc. I hope it must be clear to you what is precipitation. Alright, अब बारिश हो गई. अब next step क्या होगा? Yes, the percolation and absorption. As we know that when it precipitates, a little bit amount of water gets soaked by the soil, right? It goes into the ground and form a water table over there. It forms the underground water, and some of the underground water percolates through the rock or clay layers and वो बेड रॉक तक भी पहुंच जाता है. ठीक है, तो ये क्या बनाएगा? ग्राउंड वाटर. एंड लैंड पर वाटर्स को कौन यूज़ करेगा, कौन एब्जॉर्ब करेगा? येस, द प्लांट्स, द क्रॉप्स, द ट्रीज. एंड what will happen? They will use it to grow. But mostly जो water है वो flow करेगा run of water की form में, right? Underground water who run off water की form में. So eventually it returns to the sea as slightly salty water. तो इस तरीके से water was taken from the earth and it returns to the earth. So thus you can say that this cycle is completed again, because again the water gets mixed into that water bodies. Now to understand this water cycle more clearly, we will check for a video. So let's watch that.
The sun heats up the water from oceans, lakes,
The sun heats up the water from oceans, lakes, rivers and changes into water vapor by the process of evaporation. Now, if I talk about transpiration, then plants also lose water in the form of water vapor from their leaves into the air by the process of transpiration. As the water vapor rises up into the air, it starts cooling down and form tiny droplets, and these water droplets come together to form clouds. This is called condensation. When the clouds start getting heavy and cannot hold the water droplets anymore, they fall back to the earth in the form of rain, hail, or snow. This process is called precipitation. Now, some of the water that falls on earth seeps into the ground and form the water table over there. It is available to us in the form of groundwater. And the remaining falls back into the water bodies like oceans, lakes, rivers, seas, and makes the surface water. Okay? Now, then the sun starts heating up this water once again, and circulation of water is called water cycle. I hope this water cycle must be clear to you all. The next biogeochemical cycle, that is the nitrogen cycle, we will discuss in our next module. Thank you.